Inside the fiery world of Takis, where crunch meets spice in a way that's become a cultural phenomenon, there's an entire science behind how these tiny rolled corn chips are made. Most people just grab a bag from the shelf, pop one in their mouth, and feel the familiar rush of chili lime heat. But few realize the incredible journey each Taki takes before it ever hits your hand. The process begins deep inside a massive production plant, where millions of pounds of corn arrive in bulk. The corn isn't just any corn, it's specially selected for its moisture content, hardness, and ability to puff when cooked. Once inside, it's cleaned and ground into a fine masa using precision equipment that ensures uniform texture. That masa is then rolled into thin sheets before being cut into triangles and tightly rolled into the signature tube shape we all recognize. Each of these little rolls then heads into massive industrial fryers filled with oil, kept at extremely high temperatures. It's here that the magic begins. The masa crisps up instantly, forming the crunchy backbone of the snack. The sound inside the factory is a rhythmic hum of conveyor belts and sizzling fryers, echoing like a song of spice. Once fried, the chips are sent through a series of rotating drums where they're coated with that instantly recognizable bright red powder. This seasoning isn't random. It's a carefully engineered mix of chili, lime, salt, citric acid, and proprietary flavor compounds designed to hit every taste receptor at once. The powder adheres perfectly thanks to a fine mist of oil sprayed onto the chips before seasoning, ensuring that every bite bursts with intensity. Behind the scenes, the Takis plant runs on strict quality control. Every batch is tested for consistency, shape, crunch level, color saturation, and even spiciness are measured with precision instruments. There's even a crunch test machine that replicates a human bite just to make sure the texture stays perfect. It's no accident that each bag feels identical from top to bottom. Automation and calibration make sure the flavor experience never wavers. Workers in protective gear monitor every stage, watching gauges and sensors to ensure temperature, oil quality, and ingredient ratios remain flawless. The entire process is timed down to the second. Too long in the fryer, and they burn. Too short, and they stay soft. After frying and seasoning, the chips travel along conveyor belts that lead to the cooling tunnels. These tunnels ensure that any residual oil or heat dissipates before packaging, keeping the chips crisp during storage and transport. Once cooled, they're weighed and dropped into bright, foil-lined bags. Those bags are specially designed with multiple layers to lock in freshness and resist moisture and oxygen. If you've ever noticed how long Takis stay crunchy, it's because that packaging is almost as advanced as the chips themselves. The air inside is replaced with nitrogen to prevent oxidation, meaning your favorite spicy snack tastes as if it just came off the production line even weeks later. But it's not all about taste. Takis has built an empire on image and emotion. Marketing teams work closely with product engineers to make sure every new flavor, whether it's Blue Heat, Fuego, or Nitro, matches the brand's signature edge. The packaging colors are chosen based on psychological triggers: deep blues and reds to represent intensity, lime greens to emphasize tartness. Even the crunch sound you hear when biting one is tested for auditory satisfaction. In essence, Takis isn't just a snack, it's a sensory experience engineered for thrill seekers and spice lovers alike. Dig deeper into the global reach of Takis, and you'll see just how influential it's become. Originally created in Mexico, Takis found massive popularity among teens and young adults across North America before exploding onto the international stage. Today, the same process that began in a single Mexican facility is replicated across multiple countries. Local teams tweak flavors to match regional spice preferences, meaning Takis in Japan might have a sweeter, wasabi-like kick, while versions in India lean toward smoky masala notes. But no matter where they're made, the same golden rule applies. Every roll must be perfectly crisp and explosively flavorful. Environmental responsibility also plays a growing role in production. The modern Takis factory uses oil filtration systems that recycle and purify cooking oil multiple times, reducing waste. Corn byproducts from the masa process are repurposed for animal feed, and newer packaging materials are being tested for recyclability without losing that crucial freshness barrier. Automation, smart robotics, and AI-driven monitoring systems now run much of the process, optimizing efficiency while maintaining the human touch needed for quality checks. Perhaps most fascinating is how Takis's intensity has become a sort of cultural symbol. Social media challenges like Takis Fire Test or Fuego Challenge show just how powerful brand loyalty has become. Millions of people film themselves handling the spice levels, pushing their tolerance, or mixing Takis into creative recipes. From hot Cheeto Takis burritos to spicy mac and cheese. What began as a snack has turned into a movement, one that thrives on daring flavor and bold identity. In essence, every bag of Takis tells a story of craftsmanship hidden beneath chaos, a meticulous balance of science and sensation. The next time you pop open a bag, you're tasting not just chili and lime, but years of research, innovation, and flavor psychology rolled into one perfect, fiery crunch. And somewhere in that massive factory, another batch is already frying, waiting to challenge another taste bud, another thrill seeker ready to feel the heat. But what really makes Takis stand out isn't just the ingredients or the heat level, it's the entire sensory design behind each chip. Every element, from the crunch to the aroma, is engineered to create a craving loop. When you first open a bag of Takis, that puff of chili lime scent isn't random. It's part of an intentional aroma strategy. The oils in the seasoning mix are volatile compounds designed to hit your nose instantly, waking up your taste receptors before you've even taken a bite. It's why so many people say they crave the smell of Takis as much as the taste. Food scientists at Barcel call it anticipation flavor, a pre-taste experience that primes your body for spice and salt, increasing dopamine release and, ultimately, satisfaction. Now, let's talk about that crunch. You might think it's just fried corn, but there's real physics behind it. The factory uses precision rollers that control the moisture level down to fractions of a percent. Too much moisture, and the chip becomes soggy. Too little, and it turns brittle and flat. The golden ratio, they discovered, roughly 2.5% internal moisture after frying. That's what gives Takis that shattering crisp that snaps loudly enough to be heard over background noise. A sound scientists say triggers pleasure signals because our brains associate crunch with freshness. And while the recipe for Takis Fuego is guarded tighter than Fort Knox, workers inside the factory know that timing is everything. The seasoning can't be applied while the chips are too hot, or it burns and loses its bright red intensity. But if it's too cool, the powder won't stick, and the flavor becomes uneven. Each batch must cool for precisely 17 seconds, no more, no less, before it tumbles through the massive rotating drums that dust them with the fiery blend of lime, chili pepper, and secret flavor enhancers. Watching those drums turn is hypnotic, a red storm of spice coating thousands of rolled chips like molten lava, solidifying into perfection. Now here's where things get even spicier. Literally, Takis doesn't just stop at Fuego. Inside the innovation wing of the factory, flavor scientists are constantly experimenting with new heat profiles and global spice inspirations. From habanero lime to blue heat and even limited edition ghost pepper versions, every variant is built on a balance of chemistry and psychology. They test dozens of prototypes to find that precise moment when pain turns to pleasure. Too mild, and it's forgettable. Too hot, and consumers back off. That fine line, the point where your tongue screams but your brain says more, is where Takis magic happens. That moment of crunch, that lime kick that hits your cheeks, that lingering burn that dares you to take one more bite, it's all uniquely theirs. It's more than food. It's an emotional ride designed to be unforgettable. and the flavor exploration never ends. In recent years, Barcel has tested Takis-inspired popcorn, peanuts, and even ramen. Each one carries that signature tangy fire, repackaged into new forms. Fans around the world clamor for regional exclusives. Takis Dragon Sweet Chili in Asia, Takis Volcano Queso in Latin America, and Takis Blue Heat in the US, each offering a twist on the same fiery DNA. With every new launch, they keep the legend alive, proving that spice, when done right, never gets old. Now imagine walking through the distribution center, rows upon rows of pallets, stretching as far as the eye can see. Forklifts hum, workers move in rhythm, and the air smells faintly of toasted corn and chili. These boxes are bound for every corner of the world, from corner stores in Mexico City to vending machines in Tokyo, from gas stations in Texas to grocery aisles in Europe. Each shipment carries not just chips, but the legacy of a brand that turned heat into happiness. And there's something poetic about it. A simple corn snack, born in Mexico, now connects millions through flavor. It bridges cultures, generations, and continents. In every bag of Takis, there's a story of innovation, passion, and a relentless pursuit of perfection. It's a reminder that greatness doesn't always come from high-tech gadgets or billion-dollar industries. Sometimes it comes from a spark of spice, a burst of creativity, and the courage to roll a tortilla in a way nobody had before. So next time you open a bag of Takis and feel that heat surge across your tongue, remember, what you're tasting isn't just seasoning. It's science. It's culture. It's decades of dedication wrapped in one fiery bite. That crunch you hear is the sound of global success, the result of thousands of people working behind the scenes to make sure every single chip feels like a tiny explosion of joy. Takis has become more than just a snack. It's an icon of intensity, a badge of boldness, and a flavor revolution that shows no signs of cooling down. And for anyone brave enough to face that burn, it's not just about tasting spice, it's about tasting passion itself.